Hi guys, and welcome back to another championship prediction video. Feels like it's been a while, but last time out we got one score correct. West Brom drawing 1-1 with Burnley. It was a good prediction, got it right. I think a draw kinda looked pretty likely to start off with, but disappointing not to get any more scores. Hopefully we can pick up a couple here. Before we get into the predictions, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell for any more championship content. Let's get into my predictions. And we start off with Blackburn against Watford. Now both of these sides haven't been in the greatest of form, but Watford, they've only lost one game all season. Probably just think they're struggling a bit because they drew 1-1 with Rotherham in their last game. For me, I think Watford will win this one. Blackburn, they either seem to win or lose. Not many draws there. And I think they're going to lose this one. So Watford to win, 2-1. Huddersfield up against Wigan next. Huddersfield have really struggled so far. 23rd in the league. They look very poor. Wigan, they've only lost one. They've drawn a lot, but they've looked, pretty impressive for a side that's just came up and not really recruited much. So, impressed with Wigan so far. And I'm going to make two predictions here. I think Wigan will win, and I think Danny Schofield will be sacked as Huddersfield manager. Wigan to win, 1-0. Hull up against Stoke now. Hull, they've lost a couple in a row. They lost for the first time at home. They were good at home. And Stoke, they're a bit all over the place. Lost their last game. I'm not too sure what to expect from this one. So I'm going to get down the middle, 1-1. Middlesbrough take on Cardiff next. Middlesbrough, they've started picking up some wins. 2 in their last 3. Are we finally seeing the Middlesbrough that we expected this season? Well, they're up against a Cardiff side that have only managed to pick up 2 points out of their last 5 games. Really seem to be struggling. So I'm going to go the home side Middlesbrough to win it, 2-0. Swansea up against Sheffield United now. Now Swansea, they've started pretty poorly, but they are unbeaten in 2. Managed to win their last game against QPR. So they're, doing okay at the moment. Sheffield United won 4 out of their last 5. Top of the league. I think Sheffield United are going to win this one. 2-1. Two teams now that have only lost 1 game this season. Preston take on Burnley. And Preston, we know about them because they've scored 2, conceded 1 so far this season. That's right, the last game, they finally conceded a goal. And they finally lost a game. And it was 1-0 against Blues. You love to see it. I mean, I wasn't really expecting us to win it. But we kept a clean sheet, which isn't difficult against Preston. But we also managed to breach an unbreachable defence. So for Preston, yes, they've slipped up. They've finally conceded. But maybe that will get them out of the curse of very low scoring games. Maybe it'll make them start scoring more. I'm not sure. They're up against the Burnley side, however, who they've also only lost 1, but they are doing pretty well. They're picking up quite a few wins, and I think that Burnley will win this one. Now, am I going to go for a low score? Yes, I'm going to go Burnley to win it, 1-0. Luton take on Coventry next. Now Luton, they started to hit a bit of form, 3 games unbeaten, and then they went and lost 2-1 to Wigan, which I wasn't expecting. I thought maybe we were starting to see the Luton from last season, but they slipped up. Can they bounce back? Well, they're against the Coventry side that are bottom of the table. Yes, they've played 3 games less than the majority of the teams, but they've only picked up 1 point. They're really struggling. They can't keep the ball out the back of the net. They just keep conceding in heavy quantities. And I think Luton are going to get back to winning ways here. 2-1. Millwall up against QPR next. Now Millwall, they lost 3 in a row, but then they picked up a 2-0 win against Cardiff. QPR, they were unbeaten in 3, but then they lost 1-0 to Swansea. How do we call this one? I'm not sure. They haven't drawn many this season, but one thing that everyone seems to relate to Millwall, including myself, and Gary Rowett for that matter, is draws. And I think this one has draw written all over it. So I'm going to go 1-1. Two teams in very good form now. Norwich take on Bristol City. Norwich won 5 in a row after a poor start, and that has propelled them straight, towards the top of the table, doing very well now. And I think they're looking pretty solid for one of those automatic promotion spots. But they're up against a Bristol City side that are unbeaten in 6 matches, and they have picked up 4 wins in that time. So they are in very good form. And I actually see them taking some off this Norwich side, because one thing that Bristol City have that a lot of teams don't seem to have is goals. They might not be the best defensively. That was one of their issues last season. But they could score a lot of goals. And I see this one being quite entertaining, 2-2. Rotherham take on Blackpool next. Now Rotherham, they've only lost 1 game so far this season. Blackpool, they've only lost 1 out of their last 5. How do I see this one going? Well, I don't see too many goals between the teams. I know Blackpool had a couple of crazy 3-3 draws, but part of me thinks, and I like to go for at least 1-0 every week if I see it. I think, if any, this is looking, screaming out to me as a 0-0. So I'll go for that, 0-0. Reading take on Sunderland now. Reading have won 4 out of their last 5. They are very, very solid, very good at home. Reading are really surprising me so far this season. And they're up against a Sunderland side that have won 2 out of their last 5, but they've lost the other 3. So they seem to be quite hit and miss. And I just think with Reading being so good at home this season, and they haven't yet drawn a game, that Reading might go and take all 3 points here. Just nick it, 2-1. And finally, West Midlands derby between West Brom and Birmingham City. Now West Brom, they've been good, but they've struggled to find the back of the net, and they've struggled to pick up points in their games. They've dominated a fair few games against some top sides in this division, but they just struggle to, 1, put the ball in the back of the net, and 2, not have little lapses of concentration. They seem to just concede off of silly little things, and now, they just can't take their chances because they create so much, but they're not clinical. And I'm hoping that's the case here, because Blues lost 3 in a row. Then we did manage to become the first team to score against Preston and the first team to beat Preston this season with a 1-0 win. A good win. Got to see some of our new signings in action. Chong is back on a permanent. Brilliant business. And, together with Bielik, who we did sign earlier on in the window, but that was his first actual game for us, our midfield now looks a lot stronger. Got a bit of depth as well. And we actually look like we can pass the ball, which is just, that's an achievement in itself, being a Blues fan, to be able to see us string together at least 4 passes. So, for me, I think we can get some out of this. I don't know if I'm putting my positive bias cap on, but I don't think we're going to win it. We did win the last meeting, but I think we will benefit from West Brom not taking their chances. They will have a lot of the ball, which means we're going to counter-attack, which suits us. So I think we'll get a point in a 1-1 draw. So, those are my predictions for these championship fixtures. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more championship content. And up the Blues.